Yo, we out here, we out here, love, we out here. Mic check, 1 2 1 2, mic check. Mic check. Make sure I can hear myself. Okay. Everything's good. We golden. Give y'all the opportunity to pop up in here. Let's see. Let me go ahead and mute everything so nobody won't be disturbing us while we talk. What's happening? I'm trying to get used to this little circle. Like, what are we doing? What we doing? That's how we doing it? That's what we doing now? What happened to the squares? Can we change that? That's interesting. Interesting. What's happening? It's new. I guess they're trying to get you to focus in, you know what I'm saying? Focus in on your boy. Get out my notes, pull out my notes up. All right. Anybody that's coming in to the show, give me y'all a few minutes to welcome y'all in. Go ahead and hit me up in the chat if y'all can hear me real well. Go ahead and hit me up in the chat. Let me know where you viewing from, where you listening from. Also put red and blacks in the chat. You feel me? If you fucks with the Atlanta Falcons, man. I know it's hard. I know. Pause that. Number one. Pause that. I know it's difficult. Being a Falcons fan, being a ride or die true Falcons fan, bleeding red and black, and we're just not seeing the things how we would like them to turn out. There's a few things I do want to talk about when I get this show started that I think is interesting enough that I just want to bring to the forefront that a lot of people really not talking about. Let's go to Clint Kubiak right quick. Clint Kubiak. Let me know in the chat where you calling from. So we're gonna get this party started. Boy, it's a lot to talk about. I'm gonna try to do it in an hour. I know, man, I'm gonna try to do this in an hour. But we're gonna go ahead and get the show started, man. People are gonna pop in. I'm gonna pop off, do what I do. The Lochness from the Lochness podcast. You already know who he is, man. Welcome to the show. This is Let's Talk About It with the Lochness. Tuesday, let's talk about it with the Lochness. We lit, we live, we out here. I don't think I did that last time. I need to do better. We lit, we live, we out here. You feel me? Let me give y'all a bigger version of me. So today we're talking about what is the Atlanta Falcons strategy in hiring Stefanski. What is the Atlanta Falcons strategy in hiring Stefanski? It's a strategy. It's a strategy to this. I kind of put this together. I'm trying to put this together. I'm gonna plead my case. I know a lot of y'all gonna probably be like, man, we don't want Stefanski, but we got him. For those who don't follow me on the YouTube, you can go to my own individual page, the Lochness Podcast on YouTube. Follow me at the Lochness Podcast on YouTube. And sub, hit the notification bell, hit the thumbs up, let your boy know, in the comments, what type of content you want me to talk about, whatever, whatever. Let's get it. Let's get it. And and then just more Atlanta Falcons content, man. Just more Atlanta Falcons content. We love the city, we love the squad. We're gonna talk about our team, whether win, lose, or draw. And right now, a lot of people feeling like we losing. Michael, what's happening? Yeah, a lot of people feeling like we're losing with this Stefanski um hire. And I honestly I don't have a problem with Stefanski. Hey yo, Stefanski, come on out here. Lock in the little bubble. What's up? Yeah, I don't know. It's just I came, pause. I pulled up, and this is what it was doing. So I was just like, hey, we're just gonna keep it like it is. We're just gonna keep it. I'm gonna be in the bubble, man. Is that better? See, I do it like that. We'll do it like that. That's better. Let's see it. That better. We'll do it like that. Yeah, we'll do it like that. I don't know. It works out. We'll just keep it like this. He's in the last bubble. Yo. So, like I said, what is the Atlanta Falcons strategy in hiring Stefanski? Like, there's a method to the madness. I need everybody to understand there's a method to the madness. Um, to all you public service announcement. Public service announcement, correct. Can I go ahead and speak on something? Is it E67.67? Yeah. So I can do it like that. That. See, I like this one. That's more my speed right there. That's more my speed. I can sit back a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean. But like I said, there's a method to the madness. There's a reason why they hired Stefanski. Let's not get it twisted and think we don't understand that, this coach has already coached an entire year. He's already been a head coach. It wasn't his first time. It wasn't his, we already talked about these things. But let's talk about when I want to throw this out here. A lot of people was like, "Oh, we want Clint Kubiak," because you know how what this reminds me of. Have y'all all seen Toy Story? Y'all know the whole purpose of Andy having Woody and all his old toys, and the whole concept of Buzz Lightyear being that new shiny toy with all the bells and whistles, and it looks good, and it's like you'll throw away your old toys that you've been riding with for the longest. It's a little bit of that. It's a little bit of that in Atlanta, where we'll see Clint Kubiak and how he's making, how the Seahawks them, how everybody's looking like, oh man, we need him. You see how he got the Seahawks looking? Oh my God, yes. But did y'all want Clint Kubiak when he was with the Saints? Clint Kubiak, he was with the Saints, y'all. And last time I checked, the Saints were trash. The Saints were trash. Nobody was saying we wanted Clint Kubiak when the Saints are trash, right? Let's be 100%, right? Like nobody was saying we wanted Clint Kubiak when he was with the Saints, and the Saints looked like dog shit. So let's stop this Clint Kubiak. What y'all doing? We had Clint Kubiak. I wanted Clint Kubiak. You weren't screaming Clint Kubiak's name when he was with the Saints, right? That's who he was with, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think Clint Kubiak he was rocking with the Saints. He was their offensive coordinator. Yes. Can we say that? Can we say that? Can we say he was trash at the Ants only that there 1 year? It's a reason why he was there 1 year. Some people don't understand. It's and this is going to debunk a lot of things. This is what I want to say. This is going to debunk a lot of stuff that people are talking about. What's the one thing they keep on talking about when it comes to Stefanski? Shador. Look at he did Shador. He door. Like, and I keep telling y'all, it's a hierarchy in that building. It's a hierarchy in that building. Maybe he was following suit, but you can't sit up here and trash Stefanski and raise up Kubiak and not look at Kubiak from the last year before he went to Seattle, right? That's what we doing to Stefanski, right? Look at the Browns. They was like 5-12. Y'all got to understand, they had a $200 million guaranteed contract that they just gave to Deshaun Watson. And I don't think he took the field not one time, probably just 2 times, maybe not even once. I don't even know. It don't even matter. But you can't indict this guy. You can't be like, look what he did over here, and then raise up Kubiak because you see the Seahawks winning. And in that same breath, say Stefanski is a bad choice. He's not a bad choice. He's the not most popular choice. We used to talk about this. I done heard Mad Mike them talk about it. That's the person I'm getting it from. Is when he'll say, "This ain't gonna be pretty football. We're not gonna have pretty football. We're not gonna have the Matt Ryan to Julio toe touching on the sideline, catching it, and going against Green Bay in an AFC and NFC championship. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be that. It's not gonna look pretty. We want pretty. We want the Buzz Lightyear. We want everything to be glitz and glamour. We want to get rid of the old Woody. We don't want that little cowboy bull. See, the thing is we want the big names. And nobody was talking about Clint Kubiak. Let's be 100%. Nobody was talking about him. But as soon as he went to the Seahawks, guess what they did? Started talking about him. They did. That's when they started talking about him. When he was with the Saints and they was looking like trash and he was their offensive coordinator, because it's all about personnel. That's what y'all don't understand. It's about personnel. Let's start getting it in our head. It's about personnel. The same Clint Kubiak was with the Saints that had no personnel, nothing to work with. Now take that same mindset and go to the Browns, right? Go to the Browns. They had nothing on that. They had nothing in that team. To a lot of folks, 0-0 is a way better than a former head coach that ended up fired. Kubiak was fired too. Went on to a structured team that already had people that was coming into the light. They traded and getting pieces, got a nice running back, got one of the top possessive receivers out there in the market. He was like Brian Finneran, like 2.0 point to the second power in Cooper Kupp when the Rams let him go, when he was like they safety net. So to be honest with you, we need to give Stefanski, and I said it in my last show when I asked Maggie Fontenot, and I said, hey, do y'all feel like Stefanski is better than Raheem Morris? And somebody, like, I know the people like, hey, you put the numbers next to each other. Bump all that. Do y'all feel like we should have just kept Raheem Morris and said, don't get Stefanski? And mind you, a lot of people came here because of maybe Matt Ryan help. Let's see. Matt Ryan had something to do with it, or it could have been Stefanski. It could have been some people like, hey man, I like Stefanski. Because you don't know, y'all don't understand. Like, it's a lot of things that go with, with people. Like, sometimes I don't want to work with this person. I'm not gonna want to be there. I'm gonna put all these rearranging my lineup of how I'm gonna go. But like I said, at the end of the day, you can't be like, man, Stefanski, What are y'all doing? I wanted Clint Kubiak. No, you didn't want Clint Kubiak when he was fired from the Saints because he had a trash ass offensive coordinator because I had no pieces. So if and then it's all about buying into what somebody's saying, understanding. Like obviously Clint Kubiak ain't over there by himself. I think Mike McDaniels is over there. That's who over there with the Seahawks. I think that's who over there. There's somebody over there. No, that's Mike McDaniels in Miami. Who's the Seahawks guy? Who's the Seahawks? I don't be playing. I don't really be caring about nobody else team. I'm gonna be 100%. Uh, who that? Sean McVay with the Rams. Okay. Uh, who is it? Who is it? Mike McDonald. Wow, Mike McDonald. I know what some. I was like Mike McDaniel. No, that's Mike McDonald. McDonald's. And like I can't even say McDonald's because I don't even eat McDonald's. So um but y'all need to understand, like, so Stefanski had his presser today. Was it today? Yeah. And he talked and he discussed, answered a few questions. Tori asked him, so everybody asking him questions about the vision, the Michael Penix. Bijan is a special person. You know, some people are like, okay, after talking to him, that's what people don't understand. You can talk all day. This is just I want to say it's clickbait. It's more so like, let me address the people. When you got a situation, I'm a new head coach. Let me address everybody. Let me reassure everybody what I'm here to come and do. It's like in politics. Let me tell you what I'm gonna do so I can get you to buy in. That's all this is. Um, he said, "What's happening, my brother? Lochness? What's that? T Terry? What's happening?" Browns fans got so much to say about us right now. They prejudice, bitter asses, all of them. Like, see what it is they have a lot to say because they knew this man took their sorry franchise and rose them to the occasion. He took their sorry franchise and gave them hope. And but when they got Deshaun Watson and that 200 million guaranteed, that's what broke their team. He had to deal with that. What's up, my boy? Blackberry in the building. No C, just a K. Home team. He broke that. Like, people like, okay, he had 2-time coach of the year, 2000 and 2003, 2020 and 2023, I think, was his coach of the years. He went 11-6 the first time, had an 8-9 the next times, and then he went 11-5. No, he went 11-5 the first time, and then he went 11, like 2 8-9s, and then 11-6, and that's when he got 2-time coach of the year. Megan Fontenot was happening. Southside would have any. What's up, my boy? So the thing is about Mr. Stefanski is he took a team, and then I got screenshots. I took screenshots of the players that he had during those seasons when he was the like head coach of the year. I took screenshots of those because I wanted to take screenshots of the team he had because I felt like that was important. So when in 2020, when he took over, and he led them to a playoff berth, going 11-5, right? His team, he had a nice little team. Let me bring it up. So when he went 11-5, right? Stefanski. He had Baker Mayfield, right? That's why Baker Mayfield is up in arms, because he was that quarterback that took them to that 11. He gave them that 11-5 season, Baker Mayfield. And they was like, damn, y'all just threw me out. Like, I didn't help y'all just do that. So I can see why that will still be like, oh my God, you made me feel some kind of way. I'm in my feelings. Like, I can see why he would do that. And I can see why he like, yeah, I can't wait to see y'all. Have you ever heard of a saying, don't poke the bear? You ever heard of that? So leave well enough alone. Like, bro, Baker Mayfield, bro, you weren't really balling out like that. Like, you weren't really balling out like that, bro. You weren't really balling out like that, bro. But and I'm like, bro, and if you still heard about that, that's on you. But Baker Mayfield, he did have a good season that year. He did have a good season that year. And I wanted to bring up that 2020 season when they went 11-5, because I want you to understand the ideology that I'm trying to give y'all to look at when it comes to Stefanski and what he has and how that kind of can translate to what we have. Okay. So he had Baker Mayfield. So to be honest with you, right now with Stefanski, I think that one thing is hurting us right now more than anything is our quarterback situation is just up in there. We just like this. Do we need to get a veteran to bridge the gap? People keep saying Malik Willis, blase, blase, blase. We got to get a quarterback that can throw all. I mean, I would rather have a veteran. Do I want Kirk Cousins? Nah. And I don't want Kirk Cousins because he also was trying to get away from the team. So going on. Bye, Felicia, pretty much with that situation. On CBS, they asked Baker, does he think Bill called Tom Brady after his dismissal? No. Bro, if we talk about it, it's a business. That was probably a business decision. Not much of a phone call. Well, stop. Okay. So let's talk. When Stefanski went in 2020, when they went 11-5, he had Baker Mayfield, which he had almost he had 3,500 yards, 26 tuds, 8 interceptions. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. To be 11-5, that's pretty good. His running backs, Nick Chubb that went for 1,000 yards, 12 tuds. Kareem Hunt that went almost for another 1,000 yards, 6 tuds. So you can say, hey, we like to run the ball. So they like to run the ball. So just think about a Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, 2 good running backs. Nick Chubb, he was like premier. You know what I'm talking about? Who do we have on our team that's just like a Nick Chubb? You guessed it, a Bijan Robinson. Who can be another lightning back behind a Nick Chubb like Kareem Hunt? You guessed it, Algier if we keep him. I don't see why we wouldn't keep Algier. If we're going to be run heavy, Algier, we need the 1-2 punch. We need the power running, and we need the evasive elusiveness running. It's just what it is. You want to have 2 complementary backs. They already complement each other. So with that season, they had 2 decent running backs. Like we have 2 decent running backs, if not the best running back in the game. Plus, Kirk Cousins will be our quarterback to start the season. Honestly, the only reason I feel like that makes the most sense is it's almost just like, let's go back a couple of years. Let's rewind a couple of years. Can we rewind? Can I take y'all back? Can I take y'all back? Because I want y'all to understand my ideology so y'all can be like, okay, lot cooking over here. I'm cooking. So when they talked about, hey, we're going to get a Matt Ryan-esque style quarterback, Does Michael Penix or Kirk Cousins remind you of Matt Ryan? A tall, that can see over the line, that has a decent arm quarterback. That's Kirk Cousins. Let's just be 100%. I hate to say it, y'all. They were talking about having a Matt Ryan style quarterback. That's Kirk Cousins. That's Kirk Cousins. Do Kirk Cousins have a Julio Jones to be throwing to like he was doing? Can we get a guy that's like Julio Jones? Probably. I mean, people like can't have brick hands like somebody else we know that played for the Eagles, but whatever. But that's why we paid Kirk Cousins all the money that he got, because they looked at him like a franchise. Okay, the next guy that we got, Kirk Cousins. Ties to Atlanta. They always like to have people that's tied to Atlanta, handcuff you to the city because you from here, your wife is here from here. You know what I'm saying? Lineage. And let's reunite Kirk Cousins with Stefanski. Stefanski. You know what I'm saying? He said that's not happening. Shedeur is not Penix. He's a 10 interception quarterback. Penix will start and Kevin will start him. Now, honestly, just like I just mentioned before, when we talked about we wanted a Matt Ryan style, because they wanted a Matt Ryan archetype, because Matt Ryan saw the most success with the franchise. He's our number one quarterback when it comes to the franchise. Who is the best quarterback? Let's not pretend he wasn't. Who reminds you, like I said, of Matt Ryan? Kirk Cousins. It makes the most sense, right? It's just what it is. Like, I had to sit back and start dissecting like I said, I'm not just somebody, I break stuff down, I chop stuff up, I look at stuff, I go investigate. That's why we paid Kirk Cousins the money that we paid him, is because, you guessed it, we wanted to have somebody that can complement our offense just like Matt Ryan did, and that's Kirk Cousins. Now, if he wanted out because he seen the ship sinking and he didn't want to stay on the boat with the the band playing, and he wanted to get on one of the little wooden rafters out there when the ship was sinking, hey, more power to him. But Kirk Cousins, I'm gonna be 100%, y'all. Kirk Cousins, and showing what's out there right now to receive, like, would you want a Joe Flacco then? You're not going to be able to get what you want. You're not going to be able to get all the stuff you want. You think about it like this. Just think about it like this. We've already paying Kirk Cousins. We're already paying Kirk Cousins. Falcons on my draft board might draft a quarterback in the 4th round. The big QB from Penn State. He's 6'5", Matt Ryan type of guy. If we was to do something like that, then that's putting Michael Penix Jr. not on, I wouldn't say the hot seat, but that's giving him competition. Like, if you ain't gonna do what you need to do, I mean, I'm not mad about drafting somebody, the quarterback from Penn State. I'm not mad about doing that, But then again, you got to understand too, we're putting ourselves in situations where we're gonna have a revolving door. We just have to get a consistent person. So understanding that, okay, Michael Penix went down. I really think they prematurely put him in. They should have let Kirk Cousins, you already paid Kirk Cousins, live and die with Kirk Cousins, and let that man develop. But with him getting this necessary surgery, thankfully, we're doing it. I mean, it's good and bad, where he's doing it while we still have the option of having Kirk Cousins. They still can run the offense while he comes back and he can really develop. Because now, like I said, I mean, it's so much stuff to consider. Stefanski and Kurt have a minor success with each other before in Minnesota. They are familiar, and familiar offense runs smoothly. Exactly. So a familiar offense runs smoothly, and that's why somebody like Tommy Reese, okay, oh, boy, see, so that's why we think alike, boy. You sitting here, you already like you might like when we think alike, it's the great minds think alike. So the whole thing about Tommy Reese, okay, let me bring him up. I got notes now. But wait, before I go to Tommy Reese, let me finish this. The wide receivers, the wide receivers, the wide receivers that they had when they had their good season, they had Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr. Okay. Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr. Jarvis Landry reminds you of a possession, big, tall wide receiver like a Drake London, right? And then Odell Beckham Jr., we just need a complimentary speed guy that can go down the field. And we thought that guy was Mooney, but he ain't him. He got to go. Mooney has to go. We know that. You know that. I know that. You guessed it. Fired. So then you go to the tight ends. Austin Hooper, David Njoku, Harrison Bryant. Austin Hooper came from, Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? The one who would just be wide open, nobody paying attention to him. Yeah, that Austin Hooper and David Njoku, which arguably has had a decent season because what did they do in Cleveland? They used the two tight end setup. Guess what we're gonna probably start doing? The big package. Pause that. Two tight end setup. That's why they re-signed. I think they re-signed that other tight end that's just like a Kyle Pitts. Now, this is the question. They could bring a David Njoku in, just like how they did with old boy from Patriots that we had got the compliment Kyle Pitts, but he was doing better than Kyle Pitts when we was doing two tight ends. So the mindset to me is we're gonna run, and then their defensive line. Just think about their defensive line. They had Myles Garrett with 12 sacks, Sheldon, and was it Unjagobi? Man, that's a name for you. On a defensive line, Sheldon Richardson too. So that means if you look at their 11-6, the 11-5 season, some of the things that they had, we have already in position. Some of the so to me, we're gonna try to emulate that same style team that is pretty much he's getting an upgraded version of the team that he already had before. Make sense? How Blackberry just mentioned, when somebody's familiar with each other, it runs smoothly. Why you think a Tommy Reese would come here with a Stefanski? Because they've already, it ain't no, I gotta get to know you, you gotta get to know me. We've already did a year of this. Now it wasn't the best, but you gotta understand. He had 16,000 quarterbacks throwing to one guy, Jared Judy or whoever, and he looked good the year before. And then this year he had different people throwing to him. He looked like trash. He didn't look like the same guy. So when you have familiarity there, it runs smoothly. Brings me to my point. Guess what they're doing with the Atlanta Falcons? The strategy in hiring Stefanski. They're getting a head coach that's already been a head coach. Never had that. We're getting other pieces that we've already been here. Ali Oxen free. You know what I'm saying? So Ali Oxen free. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Your boy good. But stuff like that. He said the way he handled the quarterback position is why Raheem Terry, the way they handled the quarterback position. Yeah, I mean, wait, he said, can't worry about how Pennis feel about the move of quarterback. The cream will rise, but we can't wait. What? I think we got Terrell and Zachariah Branch out of the draft. Okay. And then you said, got fired. Yeah, pretty much. Tommy is a bad man. Is he bad? Like, oh, he good or he bad? Like, he's bad. So that's why I'm finna go to Tommy. So let's go to Tommy. I got my notes on Tommy too. I had mentioned this too. Who's calling the plays? Stefanski. Come on, him. I'm telling you, I heard that before. There's somebody's name that was on the movie, man. Y'all gotta tell me who said that. Like, look, what kid calling somebody outside to play out? I could have sworn that happened in the movie. Stefanski, come on out here. What is Tommy Rees known for? He was a pass catching specialist. What were we lacking in our offense last year or this past season? Pass catching. What were they doing when they were getting the ball thrown to them? Dropping the passes. That's what he specialized in. Guess what else? Tight ends. Tight end development. That's what Tommy Rees, they're looking at. Oh, look at how he was in Cleveland. They look at their record. Y'all don't understand. Sometimes you have players that don't buy in. And then you also have players that are disgruntled, emotional, divas, attitudes, don't want to show up, or whatever. I'm here so I don't get fined. You have all different types of players. And you look at that Cleveland Browns team. Do they look like a contender team last year? Let's be 100%. Do they really look like a contender team? Not like how our team looked. So just think if you take a guy that already has an offensive coordinator that can already create something that what were we lacking last year? Pass catching. What is one of Tommy Rees's strengths as a young developing offensive coordinator? Pass catching. And what else? Tight ends. Who you think needs some development? You guessed it, Kyle Pitts. Who did we re-sign from our practice squad? That other tight end we had got. So, and then they're already they're putting it in the air to go get David Njoku, another veteran that they already, you guessed it, it's cheap. You guessed it, somebody that's familiar. We don't have to complicate. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to reinvent the wheel, people. We just got to get complementary pieces to build on the team that we already have. We already know that run stuff, and we know we got to shore up. Oh, he said Landry was 5'11" and 6 feet. Oh, my bad. But he was decent, though. He was a possession receiver, though. He was a possession receiver. Well, my bad. Landry was a possession receiver. And that's what Drake London is. Drake London isn't a burner. He's a possession receiver. He said, I'm not rooting for the best and wish us the best of luck. I'm hollering at you next one. Be easy, my boy. For sure, my boy. Cleveland tight ends are free agent will fit perfectly with Pitts. Yes. David Njoku. Expect David Njoku to be over here. It's an opportunity for him to go back where, guess who made him look good? You guessed it, Stefanski. Guess what would happen if we let Kyle Pitts go? David Njoku would step in. A guy who actually knows how to block. And he's going to be cheaper. You guessed it. We don't need Kyle Pitts. We can let him go. That's what I'm saying. Like, just think if they did keep him. They do have somebody that's on the staff that's good at pass catching and developing tight ends, and that guy is Tommy Rees. And sometimes you need a younger guy to speak to the younger like the young players. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't want to hit a rah, 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 rah from an older guy. Sometimes they want somebody that to kick back and say, man, you know, I'll give Simmons a shot before getting Buddy from the Browns. Or Simon. Oh, Simon, like I said, he's been signed, I think. I think they're bringing him back. So, I mean, he reminded me of a Kyle Pitts-esque type, tight end, athletic tight end. We just never used him. Like we had players, like I said, we never used. So it was just like, okay, you know, at the end of the day, like Blackberry said, familiarity, like it's what's going to it's gonna make transitioning certain transitions easier. Um, if that makes sense. Hold on. Fix my mic. My bad. Y'all can hear me? Okay. Mic was getting a little too loud. So that's who Tommy Reese is. Tommy Reese is a tight end coach. He's somebody that I don't know, for some reason people not giving him a fair shake because people don't do their research. What they really do is they'll listen to the media and be like, yeah, who the fuck, yeah, like, do your research on people. Understand the type of people that we're bringing in. So then come up with a conscientious, and don't just listen to what everybody else say. Form your own opinion. If you're just gonna take everything as a grain of salt, we want high hopes for our team. We want our team to be better, and I think it starts with the nucleus of our coaches. That is that's the brainchild of the culture of the team, because they're going to take people that don't want to be here, somebody that's not giving us production. We talked about this before when they let go of Grady Jarrett. He was one of the, his dad played for the team. He's playing for the team. It's like just to think that they let him walk. You know what I'm saying? For them to be like, they let him walk. And I want to bring this up too. If you're not producing for the team, like somebody like when I listened to the Julio Jones interview, when he was talking about all the stuff I did for the city, I was, and y'all finna trade me. It's like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business, but also, some people be want them stupid contracts. They know them contracts is up, or they see that somebody gets a decline in a decline in their step or their performance or something like that. But to be honest with you, you think about the people we had up top when Julio Jones was here, they was making some silly decisions. Said Jennings is a free agent. He's a good slot receiver. He can get out about $7 million, half of Moody's contract. Jawan Jennings, yeah. I mean, whoever, like, you want to have a receiving core that they don't have to be. We're going to be a running team. If you haven't noticed, it's Bijan sauce, mustard on everything. We're going to be that's just what it is. And I don't see, rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? Stefanski's first offensive job was the tight end head coach too, my guy. See, stop. Let me get to it. Dang, like, bro, I got notes here, my boy. I got notes here, my boy. Hold on. That's what I had right here with Stefanski. I put Tommy Reese and Stefanski tight end coaches on my notes. That's what I was finna say too. That's why I said he made David Njoku have 1,000-yard season, I believe, and Stefanski developed him. And I was gonna say Stefanski and Tommy Reese developing. That's why they was going 2 tight end sets in Cleveland. Guess what we gonna start doing? 2 tight end sets. Why? Because that helps the run. Also, that also sets up for good play action plays, power running plays, power sweeps, screens. It's so much we can do with that, right? So that's enough. They call that the big package. Pause that. But that's when they run the double tight ends, and then you get 2 guys that can actually block. Like I'm expecting them to go get David Njoku. It's just not. It makes so much sense to me. Every time we get players or coaches from the Browns, we turn into demons and help players turn their careers to sky high. Exactly. It's like people don't understand. Sometimes some people just need a fresh start. Have you ever worked at some place where they like, oh, this is just who you is, and you be like, whoa, that's not who I am. Nah, this is what you do. And then when somebody see you move on to another job and they be like, damn, you the VP? Like, yeah. Oh, you was just a bad, like, yeah, I thought you was just gonna be a regular manager. No, because I sometimes it's a mindset, culture change. It's refreshing for some people to be like, hey, we got your back. And or it's like, dude, this ain't who you are. I don't think Stefanski in well, in the AFC North would have been two-time coach of the year with Harbaugh and Tomlin around if he didn't take a team that was trash and made them better. Our team ain't trash. Just imagine we was 8-9 2 years in a row. Do you think Stefanski would have beat the Jets? Do you just humor me? Do you feel like he would have outcoached to win the game when we went against the Jets? And then you think he would have outcoached the person like Talola Tua with one eye? And there's another thing. You look at his record at home. He seems like a coach that protects his home. They really didn't lose games at home. What are the things we used to pride ourselves about having Matt Ryan and having the stadium in the Georgia Dome and all this stuff? We always took care of home. But we started losing games at home when we would normally be like, shit, at home, we was dominating. We're at home. But that's just something to think about. There's just something to think about. I want to bring this up as well. Let me go back to my notes. So that 2020 season, okay. So the 2023 season, his other season where he had the coach of the year that season as well, the 23. See, it's funny how how they say when you do good, people really only recognize your bad. You know what they see? It was Shador. That's all they see. The Browns, the Browns, the Browns season. Look how they look. The Browns look. Look how he did Shador. Look how the Browns look. Look at that record. Look how she did. They was 5-12. But guess what? Nobody's saying, look at Clint Kubiak. When he was with the Aints, they look straight like trash. Look at them. Look, nobody's saying that. Only thing they see is the Seahawks going to the Super Bowl. That's all they see. They don't see nothing else. We pick and choose what we want to see. Because if you want to sit up here and say, hey, look at this man doing this season, but then you say, hey, he can do that with the Saints. Just like you can say, hey, look how he looked with the Browns. Doesn't mean he can't elevate us. Right? I'm just saying. He had, when they went 11-5, 11-6, he had Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco as his quarterbacks. He had Amari Cooper, Jerome Ford, David Njoku, and of course he had Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year. He had a good cornerback, some good linebackers. And this just reminds you of our team. We have a defensive ends. Hell, we have several defensive ends. One and half of them people are rookies. We need a good linebacker. I mean, once Diablo get more healthy, because once he had that little club, he couldn't do nothing. But when you seen how he was doing when he first got, he was pushing the pocket, and I was like, whoa, my boy here. He lost a step, with his injury. But kudos for him going out there and trying, doing his thing. Amari Cooper is another possession receiver. Who that reminds you of? You guessed it, a Drake London. And then you got a running back who had 813 yards in Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford ain't Bijan. And I'm not saying that like, hey, Bijan gonna get his 1,000 plus. And then you had David Njoku, who looked like a beast. So a David Njoku can be, and you also got to do it by committee too. People don't understand. If I can get 2 or 3 tight ends to do what Kyle Pitts does, for less of a price, that sounds like the better deal. I'm gonna be 100%. We did the same thing with Grady Jarrett. I said if we're successful on the defense without Grady Jarrett, nobody's gonna talk about Grady Jarrett. And guess what we did? Not one person said, "Damn, you know what we really need? You know what would really be a kick-ass name? Grady Jarrett." Like nobody was saying that. Nobody was saying that. Let's be 100%. So I'm saying that to say this. I mean, trust the process, people. Trust the process. Again, still trust the process. We hire Ollie and Ruttenberg. Ollie was already here before, I believe. And so we're just gonna walk down. So I'm gonna bring this up. Callahan O-line. So when the Cowboys had that stout O-line that nobody can penetrate, Callahan was the guy. Great hiring coach. Great coach. O-line. And I said one of the things we need to shore up. What do we need to shore up? O-line. How does that affect? That gives any quarterback protection. And that's great. So we go back to this, trusting the process. Ollie, defensive line. One of the things that we got plagued with, our defensive line, we was getting out with the pressure and on the edge and all this stuff and getting the pressure how we want. But guess what we was doing? We were still getting demolished in the run. Ollie went to the Houston Texans, and guess what he made C.J. Stroud look like? I mean, not C.J. Stroud, but their defense looked like bees. I mean, the Texans have already been a type of team that already had a decent defense. And then their defensive line is just shoring up things. Okay, what can we do on the defensive end? So my question is, AK-47, Arnold Ebiketie, are we keeping him? Or are we getting rid of him because we got a Jalen Walker and we have a JPJ? Because we can get rid of him. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's different. Everybody was eating last year. So it's like you can like some it's crazy. It's so many stuff you can do and so many people you gotta keep, but you gotta pay them. You gotta pay them. Ruttenberg. People like, who is Ruttenberg? Ruttenberg is known for defensive passing. Like he's a position coach for defensive passing. And who does that help? You guessed it. It helps all of our cornerbacks. Helps our secondary. He's got the keys to Nick Saban's offense, so he definitely seen something in him. And I believe nobody could have succeeded in Cleveland last year. Maybe it'll work. That's what I'm saying. Money. See, you all talk that money, my boy. You get it. That's what I'm saying. You look at the Cleveland Browns, they was trash. They personnel was trash. So how y'all expect this man to do something with a personnel that was trash? That was crazy to me. I'm like, what? Did y'all even look at the Browns and see what they had? They had nothing. Don't think that Shedeur the second coming of Michael Vick or something. Like, come on, bro. Y'all just like Shedeur because he's Deion Sanders' son. Like, if he wasn't Deion Sanders' son, y'all wouldn't be on Shedeur like that. Let's just be 100%. You guessed it. We need to sign one and draft one at wide receiver. I believe it. You gotta have and if you draft a wide receiver, let him be somebody that take the top off. Let him be somebody that's like, hey, I'm about to go get it. Right? We better not let Tyler Algier walk out the door. I'm saying, like, people talking like Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. That's what we need right there. You shore up the O-line, start doing two tight end packages where you can get those extra motion people to get those extra blocks. Stefanski and Tommy Reese consider him and help develop Kyle Pitts, saying if we kept Kyle Pitts, keep Kyle Pitts and let him actually be a tight end, or move him to the outside so he can be a receiver, and then get some other tight ends. Come on, man, stop playing with me. 12 personnel for sure. We need depth. We always need depth. What's happening? Keep doing great things, bro. For sure. So it's like, so the way I see it is we have to trust the process. We have to dissect these people and understand they might have not did good. Like, you think about it, Stefanski is a offensive minded head coach as well. He's also bringing somebody in that's already offensive minded as well, right? And then, just like you just mentioned, Nick Saban, you got a dude like Nick Saban say, hey, bro, go ahead and take care of Alabama. So y'all need to understand, it's so much that goes along with that. One of the things, because the shit show we had last year of coaching, I feel more confident in the development what's getting done now than the makeshift bullshit we had last year. Let's be 100%. Like, if y'all can be like, man, I would rather have what we had last year. Can y'all honestly say that? If you can honestly say that, I could just go ahead and end this show right now. We can just end this show right now. If y'all honestly believe I would keep what we had last year, what the hell are we doing? Like, y'all don't understand. Like, a guy like Ollie that's already been here, that can shore up the defensive line, and they're already showing you that this young core of our defense is getting to it. Just think if you bring a guy that a guy that can command the defensive line. Hey, what personnel do you need right here? Scout me a guy like this. Scout me this type of guy that can run stuff. Scout me this type of guy. But I don't know if I'm just too optimistic, but I just feel like it's not really like we're just pulling out of our ass what this team looks like they're doing. They're sitting down. You know, one of the things we talked about is how we would have people that complement the other player. Like, we'll have an archetype. We'll have a guy that's like, we got a Nick Nash that's just like a Drake London. We got a Simon that's just like a Kyle Pitts. You know what I'm saying? With the coaches, you handcuff them to somebody that can develop them. Hey, we already got something here. Hubert, we're going to bring this dude in here to shore up your defensive line. Hey, Hubert, while you got the defensive line working, we got a guy that can shore up the DBs. We already had almost like a no-fly zone. People wasn't really passing on us like that. Let's go get us a guy that can go ahead and make sure we get our DBs back on point, or get them on point. You know what I'm saying? Xavier Watts got 5 of them guys. Maybe this year he'll get 6 or 7. Billy Bowman can get back out there. Because we always talked about, it wasn't the talent on the team, it was the coaching. Now we're getting the coaches. People want the most popular. They want that shiny toy like I talked about. They want that, they want that Buzz Lightyear. They don't want to keep Woody. Man, fuck Woody. I want that Buzz Lightyear because we want the shiny toy. We want that. We want the Clint Kubiak because he's making the Seahawks look like they beast out there. But we weren't talking about Clint Kubiak when he was with the Saints. We wasn't raising Clint Kubiak up. Let's not pretend like we were. So if we can sit up here and raise Clint Kubiak up and like, ooh, you see what he doing to that team? Then we got to give Stefanski the same grace and saying, hey, that team look like shit. So next year, his team, he can raise them up. Right? It makes sense, right? I'm just saying. But like I said, hey, I finished this up. We finished this up that quick. I said an hour. We had 59:45. Any questions for me before I let y'all ride? Because I said I was going to give y'all an hour. And I just want to go ahead and give y'all my little tidbit about what's the strategy behind hiring Stefanski and how they're going about doing it. And also, somebody I didn't mention is we just hired a special teams guy. I don't really know anything about the special team guy. Did we just hire somebody for special teams? Uh, what is it? Euchreman, Anchorman? Um, yeah, we hired a special teams guy. I don't really know anything about him. I will investigate because that's one of the things that plagued us and lost us so many games last year. We will be having a different conversation. It was almost like a point where damned if you do, damned if you don't. We wanted Raheem Morris out of here, but just think for an instance, if we would have been winning, we would have had this man another year. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. So when y'all didn't want somebody like a Stefanski, which improves us because of the tenure, like I said, this dude has been a head coach. And he's already been through how it looks to have cap hell. He's already been through when it looks to have an 8-9 season. He's already looked at how you go to the playoff and take a franchise that's never really been, and you take them to there. You take them through there, right? So, like I did it. So he's already done that, right? So it's almost like a point where it don't sit. I would rather, like I said, just send back, not even knowing too much about Stefanski. And I said, I would still take Stefanski before I take Raheem Morris because I knew of him. I didn't really know of Stefanski because I really didn't pay attention to the Browns. What is the first position you would like us to address in free agency, and do you have a player in mind? That's a good one, money. Money. They were talking about that dude from the Lions. He's a defensive tackle, I think, or something, or nose guard. What is it? What is he? I think he's a nose guard for the Lions, I believe. Because we need run stuffing ability. Let me see what's his name. I thought I saw him. Roy Lopez, he's a good guy. He's was signed to the Lions for a year, but it's like another dude. I thought it's another dude. I thought. Yeah. I seen that too, but yeah, somebody like you got to think about. Look at the people who had the better lines, right? I honestly believe in my heart of hearts, Callahan, because that's the guy who's the old line guy. Callahan will assess what is needed. They will present him with a package of players and say, "Hey, what you think about this person?" He'll look at their technique. He'll look at what it is. They'll look how many dropbacks that person prevented. Da, 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 da. Because y'all gotta understand too, we about to get McGarry back too. We ain't really saying nothing about McGarry. We've already paid McGarry. He hasn't even started that contract. He got them 2 years. He still got. So he's gonna come back. So McGarry gonna go right back over there with Lindstrom where he was when he was, doing his thing. You know. So at the end of the day, we just need somebody. We're gonna have to have somebody to take over for Jake Matthews. Although we just we changed, and that's the thing. Jake Matthews, like the regime that was here is no longer here, y'all. So really, we don't know who is really safe. Like we know who's safe, but we might he might be like, hey man, AJ Terrell. I don't think that I don't think they'll get rid of AJ Terrell, but hey, you never know. You know, I think a lot of people on the defense are safe. I'm gonna be 100%. It's certain people that ain't safe, but it's like little no name guys. I wouldn't say no name, but like in saying free agency, the first position is the nose tackle position. Because if we're trying to shore up the run, I would rather have us unless there's somebody in college that is a nose tackle or someone that can be converted into a nose tackle that has run stuffing capability. Because if we get and that has more so to do with Ali Oxenfree, where Ali can be like, hey, because I was talking about O-line, I was talking about Callahan with the O-line, but on the defensive side, as a nose tackle, we need, them to pull a rabbit out of the hat, man. I would want a veteran because you can't lose with depth, but I would also want somebody. I would want some run stopping linebackers and one run stopping linebacker, one nose tackle, or someone that can be converted. I want us to really shore up the offense, whatever that means. I would honestly, since our defense is kind of young, I would want a veteran nose tackle. And then on the offensive side, I would want people talking about having Pickens coming here from Dallas. But you had to pay him. But I really want us to shore the offense. Whatever that means. If they want to bring in David Njoku to save on money because he's going to be a good blocking tight end, bring him in. And we got to get rid of Kyle Pitts. I bet. I mean, if it's going to save on money, like I said, if we can save on money and get more guys to do what is needed, yeah. Answer this question: would you, if we had a chance to send Kyle, get a Pickens and get rid of Kyle Pitts, would you want to keep Kyle Pitts? No, you wouldn't. You get rid of Kyle Pitts in a heartbeat because that lets you know how much he means to this offense. Kyle Pitts isn't as much as a Drake London or a Bijan Robinson. Kyle Pitts was only showing up when who? And the funny thing about last year, statistically, he had almost a great season. It had to take Drake London going down. But when Drake London's out there, we don't even know where Kyle Pitts is at. And that's not good at all. But you guessed it. But yeah, that's a good question though, man. I think we need to go nose tackle veteran. Nose tackle veteran. Then our offense, we need a wideout. We need a speedy guy. Because if we get rid of Mooney, that opens up opportunity so we can run the 2 tight end sets, and we need a wide out that can go get it. It's just what it is. But besides that, y'all, I appreciate y'all for stopping by and listening or viewing or seeing with your boy. If there's no more other questions, like I said, you can follow me on the Lochness podcast on YouTube. That's road to 500 subs. That's the Lochness podcast on YouTube. I do appreciate everybody. for stopping by, man. We trying to get to 500 subs. You feel me? And I always share my content out, man. If I'm here on Tuesdays 9:35, unless the Lady Birds need me to pull up early for them. And like I said, I always say, man, go view everybody's content that's rocking the red and black, man, that's representing the city and our birds, regardless of what, what I'm saying. I consider everybody as the next collaborator that can probably pull up in my show. I did get in contact with a few ex Falcons players that said they gonna pull up at the show. I just gotta figure out what's the best time for them, set it up, market it, and then they'll be up in here talking about our birds. Um, Matter of fact, man, I might hit somebody up. I might hit them up soon, and just bring them on the show and just rehash out one of the ex players' thoughts on how they feel in the direction that we're going with what we're doing. And then I ain't gonna really try to take too much of their time, so they'll probably be here for like 5-10 minutes. I ain't really trying to, and then I'll let y'all answer some questions for them too if y'all have any. But we're gonna keep them. We're gonna keep you posted. It's a good one too. Like it's a couple on that was like it's yeah, yeah, yeah. These guys, they pretty cool, man. Once you meet them, they're pretty cool. You know. Sometimes I mean they like talking about the squad. You know what I'm talking about. So I appreciate everybody, man. Until next time, we out of here.